Hey, good morning. This is David with Desert Psycho Gaming, and it's been a long time since I've talked about Metazoo. So I wanted to make a Metazoo video because I feel like there's a lot to say about the game at this moment. First and foremost, full disclosure, although this is a channel I talk about trading card game investment, this is not financial advice. What you're hearing is my opinion only, and you always have to do your own due diligence when you're talking about or considering investing in anything. So what I wanted to say and really dive into is a seemingly new trajectory or level of stability that Metazoo is headed towards. Now, it's really early in this type of behavior. Seance was the first set that I feel like has kind of stabilized. You know, there hasn't been dramatic swings on the set. And now going into native, it is a brand new set, but it seems to be pretty consistent in terms of its price movement. So you're not seeing this massive flood on the market, rapid sell-offs like you have in other sets, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Part of that, of course, I think has to do with population. And it seems like Metazoo has kind of figured out that maybe with some of these other sets, they've printed more than what the demand is. I mean, if you look at Wilderness, there's still plenty of boxes. UFO, there's still plenty of boxes to buy. But Seance was a lower print run. Native is a lower print run. Seems to be doing good. They've got the hype train going, but not as dramatically as what they have with some earlier sets. So that stability, in a large part, is due to Metazoo's adapting, realizing what kind of behavior is going on with the markets. Something unique about that particular game is it attempts, at the very least, to have a strong partnership with the secondary market and investors and collectors. Pokemon seems to have respect for that. Magic doesn't have any. So it's kind of refreshing to see that demographic more specifically catered to in a broader sense, as opposed to like a single special set. That, I think, is going to serve the game really, really, really well. And I think this year there's a huge possibility that Metazoo is going to formally establish itself as a game in the space, like a big trading card game. I don't expect it to fully contend with the other games. You're talking about like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, the big three. But I do think it can start to move. And the reason I think it can start to move is because there seems to be a flow of traffic into the game, just like there's a flow of traffic into Flesh and Blood. I don't think either of those games are picking up droves and droves and droves of people who are brand new to trading card games in general. I think they're taking them from another game. For the most part, of course, there's some new blood coming in, but I think the swelling of Flesh and Blood and the stability and potential growth of Metazoo in a large part is being caused by attrition from Magic the Gathering. So Magic is one of the largest card games in the world with 20 million active registered players. The game has been solid for a long time. It initially, in 1995, generated the reserve list to protect from reprints of specific considered investment grade cards, covering sets like Alpha and Arabian Nights, Legends, Antiquities, The Dark, all the Weatherlight, right? Independent cards from all these sets. So the reserve list was not officially broken, considering Magic 30 was a non-playable reprint set, but it might as well be, looking at market consensus. So they reprinted all of these original beta cards. And I said alpha, so alpha, beta are considered like the same edition, just variants, right? So they reprinted all these cards, including Power 9, okay? That's like Black Lotus, the Moxes, Time Twister, etc., right? They've reprinted all of them, and they reprinted the entire set. with variants. So that, and with that, the cost of doing this, $1,000 a booster box for 4 packs with 10 cards in each pack, like $1,000 for a box of reprints. Now, I'm not discrediting the set because I, unlike a lot of other people, don't see it as a bad investment. But I do understand the outrage for it. That has pushed people out. Furthermore, it's very clear that Magic the Gathering, with new serialized cards, is really pushing to generate an investment audience in modern, kind of like what Pokemon has accomplished. Because for these big games, I mean, the secondary market, it's cool to have a relationship with them, but it doesn't help their bottom line. Because when you're buying a card from Tim's Card Shack, it's not going in the pockets of Wizards. It's not going in the pockets of Pokemon. So, of course, they want to create hype around modern sets. And they're doing it with serialized. And as a result of all of this news, we're seeing prices dump. Now, it could be sell-offs, lack of buying. I know a lot of huge stores have stopped buying cash for almost all Magic cards. Instead, store credit. It could be the reasons I mentioned, or it could be simply that cash is getting just straight reallocated into other card games. And I think, by and large, there's a huge chunk of that going into Flesh and Blood. There's been very dramatic price movements, and a chunk of that could be stabilizing, and very well this year it could begin to spike Metazoo. Because something that Metazoo has going for it is there are not that many boxes. There are not that many players. What that means is even a slight change in the base, and you can see prices skyrocket. Because it's not Magic, it's not Pokemon, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's not even Flesh and Blood. This is a very, very small game. Many of these sets have 40,000 booster boxes, and that's it. And they don't even sell right away. So if you get 10%, 5% of the player base of Magic to trickle over into Metazoo, you're going to see a price explosion that has rarely been seen in trading card game history. So I'm fascinated to see how this plays out. But this is just my opinion, of course. If you like this type of content, let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you're into it. If not, let me know. Let me know it's terrible. Again, my name is David. This is Desert Psycho Gaming. I talk about investing in collectible trading cards. And again, this is only my opinion. I personally have bought into vintage Magic, Metazoo sealed, Pokemon sealed product. And yes, I do have a box of Magic 30 that I will probably never open or sell. But we'll see what happens. Hope you all have a great day.